Welcome back to more Assassin's Creed Revelation.
We get to see more Desmond.
That is exactly what's going on. Now don't worry about not being able to hear them. If you want to hear what they're saying now, go back to the last video and listen to what they're saying, because they're just going over the same stuff now.
So it's a
kind of,
repeat.
yeah, you're repeating because you went and did the Desmond story.
So chances are we're going to repeat this once again.
We're going to repeat this a third time after we go through Desmond's Journey Part 2. And
so this is all unlocked by seeing more, getting more.
This is unlocked by getting more data fragments within the regular game mode. When you're playing as Ezio, you go around, you look around the world and collecting data fragments like you were collecting feathers or flags. There's data fragments. Once you get so many of them, you unlock the Desmond's Journey, and we get through quite a bit of them.
Memory sequence archived. Recalibrating Animus idle parameters.
So here we already have our shapes. We have our puzzle blocks. We're failing. I was trying to do the little Minecraft jump there. Does not work in this game.
Oh, that's too bad.
So
It looks like it's snowing.
No, those are, I don't know, some sort of animus particles. The direction that those particles are moving in actually moves your blocks that way. So it's a more puzzle element. You'll see here.
The morning bell. God, I hated that. Ringing 5 days a week just before dawn. Up before the birds. Me and the other kids.
Come on, Desmond, get up. No lagging.
Exercise. Mandatory. A dip in the creek to get clean, then oats with butter and apple juice for breakfast. Ugh.
So a little bit more into his childhood. You know, you get to see what he did every day.
So was he an assassin? Did he know he was an assassin since he was young?
Yeah, and since he was young, he was brought up in the world of the assassins, but he fled later on in his life, and he, didn't want any part. Didn't want any part of it. He was just like, screw this. This is all stupid. I don't want to know.
Because I always got the impression from the first game that he didn't even know what was going on so much.
I mean, he kind of knew. I mean, if you listen to his conversations with Vidic, he was always kind of just like bullshitting him. You know, he knew what was going on. He wasn't letting on very much. He didn't want he didn't want them to think that he knew anything, because he didn't want anything to do with the lifestyle. And well, you see where that got him. It didn't get him very far. But yes, here I'm simply being an idiot. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. This is the first time that these blocks or these particles are implemented into the game. And so I'm not sure exactly what they're there for.
You know, a classic strategy from just about any of these games, especially from Portal, is just go up and generally you'll find something.
Exactly. So here I see the exit now. So we're gonna head towards the exit, and you've got to keep placing these blocks, otherwise they'll keep on being pushed backwards from you. And these ones, Dewey, guess what these ones do?
Raise you up.
They make you go up. That's right. So just plonk one down underneath you, Dewey, or do it that way. That way, and you'll go straight up, just like Dewey.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that sexual?
No, don't be gross, Dewey. Jeez.
I must have walked 1,000,000 miles before I was 10. But it was nice. I liked those days out in the hills. The hush, the open air, the deep dark of the forest. Crunch of boots on the dry ground.
Can you see Rapid City from here? No, that's much further east.
This part seems difficult. You never know what's gonna happen, or you just go for it.
You just go just straight up.
I saw you did a kind of second look there. Like, was that really all that was?
Exactly. I was like, this should be harder. Why isn't this harder?
Your blocks don't die if they touch those.
No, if your blocks touch those, they're fine. But if you touch them, I gotta cut a little close here every now and then, just because it's the way I do things.
Make it interesting. It's just like, ooh,
hi,
shiny.
How's it going? Your name is Mr. Blocky. That's what I call you.
Interesting.
So, yep. Those things actually get kind of difficult later on in this sequence in this memory, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I always love doing that, just free falling and then plopping a block down right underneath me and calling it a day.
Well, do you take damage from that?
No. I did take damage the very first time I fell a long distance. I don't know if you go back to the first video and you notice that. But yes, the orange areas, Dewey. Blocks do not stay up in the orange areas. I actually think that this is a very Portal-esque kind of thing, where it's like they take something you're used to doing and they say you can't do that here. You got to find a way to work around it.
Yeah. That's...
plus the music here is really reminiscent of Portal. This is that, you know, omniscient, just, you know, I don't know how to describe it. It's very, it reminds me a lot of Portal, but like we were saying, it's not in a bad way. This has its own characteristics to it.
Well, it almost starts to seem like this could be a completely different game itself.
Almost, yeah.
Not
if they made it a little more interesting with the dialogue, have the dialogue so, you know, sparse, but keep things a little fresh, you know, keep your mind constantly engaged instead of, well, I mean, it's engaged. I'm thinking, what the hell do I do here? But, you know, it's just add a little bit more personality to this if you wanted to make it its own game. But for the context of this game, it's just fine. So now these particles are going to be pushing you down. You need to go up. So, I mean...
Spam!
Spamming actually is not a horrible way. I mean, they don't make these too challenging. They want to make sure that, you know, the people that are diehard Assassin's Creed players...
Oh, you barely hit that ledge. You lucky bastard.
I totally did that on purpose. That was totally on purpose. I'm sure Ubisoft wanted to make sure that the people that play Assassin's Creed and not the Portal type of puzzle games, they want to be able to make sure that they can complete this.
Well, it's something that I find that Portal does very well is adding, you know, putting that level of where it's a challenge, but not so much of a challenge where you're going to get frustrated. And I can see that could just end poorly for this game if they had put something very challenging in here to the point of where people would just be like, this is an Assassin's Creed to begin with. Why are you putting something in here that's nearly impossible to complete?
Right. But they did a good job with it. I'm happy with that.
What is this war about? What are we fighting for? They never told me much. Just enough. They kept things shrouded. An air of secrecy. For my own good, they said. So we stayed hidden. Away in the Black Hills. If anyone ever knew who we were or what we were doing, there'd be trouble.
They're everywhere, Desmond. They have their hands in everything. Politics, war, finance, high-tech, agriculture. People are asleep, and while they dream, Abstergo builds a nightmare.
Abstergo. The first time I saw that name, it was on the side of a bottle of ibuprofen. Mom laughed when I asked her about it. Can't get away, she said.
Well, we pick our battles, I guess. So many to choose from.
She told me the average American household contains 3 dozen Abstergo-owned products at any given moment. If you tried to purge them from your life completely, it would be a full-time job.
Here they're going into, you know, the amount of, like, influence Abstergo has into people's everyday lives. So ibuprofen bottles, that kind of thing.
Abstergo's the Templar stuff?
Abstergo's the Templar corporation. And they're saying how even the assassins can't get away from using their products just because they're everywhere. They have so much control. And, you know, the assassins are basically just, you know, they have no choice. If they want ibuprofen, they're forced to use that. And it's just kind of interesting to see the different ways that Abstergo has just punctured people's lives.
So this was it. The global conspiracy, Abstergo. Fingers in every pie. Governments, corporations, universities. Mom and Dad made it sound so scary. But it didn't feel scary. An enemy has to have a face, but all I could see was a bottle of painkillers.
It's very interesting. It's showing kind of that necessary evil, which, you know, it's a very common theme even in this world.
That's what happens when you fail.
Okay, I was confused. But yeah, no, like in this world there are some things that people need to live with, and people need in order to survive. It's not something anybody wants to use, but something they have to use. And I do like that theme that is present, that they put into this game. So
yeah.
How you can't go through life not using painkillers with Abstergo. They're not a good company.
I don't use painkillers, do we?
You don't use pain. You're just
Ever.
you are the.
I say the pain is your body's way of telling you to stop doing something. Okay, if you're doing something that's causing you pain, stop doing it. Dude, we don't just take painkillers.
Well, what if you're doing something you can't help?
Well, then maybe you could reconsider your life choices, Dewey. Okay.
What if it wasn't not a choice?
Well, then that's your issue. You gotta fight against the powers that be, Dewey. Fight the power. Okay? What you gotta do. And also, here's the part. The things start getting a little more tricky. Particles are going nuts. You got orange things everywhere.
Every which way and what?
Yeah, it gets a little more difficult, and you just gotta push on through, Dewey.
What scared me was the training. Sweat, tears, bloody lip every once in a while.
Focus, Desmond, focus.
How far were they going to push me?
Strength, speed, agility. No excuses.
Couldn't stand it. What was the point? For years and years, I thought some major catastrophe was on the horizon. I didn't know what to expect.
This is probably one of the most fun and challenging moments of this sequence, anyways. You can't touch any of the black surfaces, as I said before, and me and this is where I get off on Super Meat Boy. It's because I have to do this as fast as humanly possible. I have to. It's just something in my head that tells me, Ray, you can't go through this slowly. You can't, even if it works, you can't go through it slowly, Ray. You must do this at the lightning fast speed that you know you can do it at. And I get that far before the game says no, Ray, you quit it. But I get that far with doing it this fast, and I give this a couple more tries. And
your stubbornness, that's beautiful. Just goes through the beginning. Oh, I love it.
That's what I do. I'm telling you, I don't know.
One day you'll understand. You'll see. All this unease will be worth something. I promise.
If they'd been more open with me, if they'd shown me things, taken me places, maybe it would have made more sense.
Again, Desmond is going back, recollecting the past, saying things that he wishes were different, things that he wishes could have been, changed about the way that he was taught as an assassin. He wishes that the adults in the Order maybe were a little more honest with him, that kind of thing. Quit focusing on my gameplay, Dewey. Stop
It's so amusing, though.
I'm stubborn. I want to do this as fast as humanly possible, and at this point, I was just like, screw it. I guess I'll just ride these things down. But the problem is when you have so many of these things that you're riding down, you can't see the platforms. This is just me. This is me. You should have seen me play Super Meat Boy, Dewey. I spent an hour on one level. It's because I refused to slow down until I had it down to like a T.
Well, because it's just once you can get it to that nice fast pace and you can get it through as fast as you want it, it looks cooler.
Yeah.
So.
This, not so much. This is just me fumbling around like an idiot, hoping I can do it right. But as you can see here, I'm like, fine, I'll do it the slow way. I'll do it the way that the normal people are gonna play it.
And you have to. Well, it's still interesting looking.
Yeah, it's still very nice the way that they do it, and everything just falls kind of away, and that's all there is to it.
I hear something.
There are people singing or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
The Animus is trying to find you and kill you. Who knows? But that's going to conclude this memory 2 of Desmond's journal. And we hope to see you guys in the next video. The next video is not going to be a Desmond's journal video. In the next video, we go back to the Ezio Auditore da Firenze. He's going to murder some Templars. Probably.
But they're nice people, actually.
I don't think they're very nice, Dewey. I think you're crazy. So, fatal error. He's dead. Terminated.
No. Spoiler.
I'm kidding. Alright, we will see you guys next time.